Hello there, my name is Ben and welcome back to PLAYtheGAMEcentral, and today I wanted to talk about drive with you. And drive as in determination and, you know, that energy, that kind of rhythm that you can become to get things done and to create change. It's lost on a lot of people, I find, now. You know, I'm of a generation where work seems to be very important, and I'm not convinced that that's maybe as important as it used to be. But that may only be because work isn't as easily accessible as it used to be. Most of my work now, I've created from the ground up. So there are projects that you know about. I'm not going to talk about them, I don't want to plug them or anything, but that I've grown out from grassroots, that I've paid for myself to have like websites designed or companies designed and actual offices, studios designed from the ground up with my own investment. That seed capital came from me and that time and effort came from me. I had to do that because who the fuck is going to employ me? Seriously, I mean, I may have all of these wisdomous ideas, but why would they employ me over someone else? Why would they employ me over someone who studied at Harvard or Yale or Oxford or Cambridge in the UK? Why me? Now, I felt the need to start my own stuff because what else was going to happen? So I did. I took that responsibility into my own hands. I realized that, you know, money isn't a controlling factor in my life. I have 2 tattoos on my wrist. Both of them relate to money. And the emphasis put on money in this world is so overstated that it disgusts me. I have a 0 and a 1, both crossed out. I have binary on my wrists, crossed out. I am not interested in creating money. Now, anyway, I used to be. Now I'm really invested in just doing what I feel is right for me and creating things that I'm proud of and making, you know, entrepreneuring challenges and even companies that I'm proud of and proud to be behind. And I've shut down a lot of things that I wasn't proud to be behind, because why would you want to be involved with something that you couldn't put your stamp on approval on? I say the same thing with music. Why would I create an album that I thought was 5 out of 10 when I can spend time and make it 10 out of 10 for me, in my opinion? You know, Quiet One to me is 10 out of 10. That is my emotions as raw as I could get them and as perfect as I can get it to sound within the parameters of what I think it should sound like. That's as good as it could be. And some people may think it's 1 out of 10. It's completely their prerogative, and I just love them for listening to it. But I'm not going to spend time on projects that I don't think could be 10 out of 10 because there is not enough time on this fucking planet. So drive has to be focused. I have to make sure that my drive is completely focused, and I have an incredible drive. I really can't sit down and watch TV. TV specifically. I can play games for a bit, but TV, unless I'm watching the British Bake Off, which, by the way, fucking hell, it's back, and Mary Berry just looks stunning. I'm joking. It is really good though, by the way. That's the only thing I watch on TV, seriously, is the British Bake Off. And I always really feel like I need cake. My wife always says that as well. But I can't watch TV. I just find it too boring. There's just nothing on TV that really affects me other than like watching Sky News or CNN or whatever. I'm really not interested at all. Or Bloomberg as well, because that has the stocks on it. But yeah, that's that. So I have this drive, so I have to be working like non-stop. Unless I'm taking like family days or we're going on holiday, I work. When I'm awake, I work. Unless I'm spending time literally with my family and like doing things like dinner and doing fun things and stuff like that. I want to be working. I want to be progressing. I feel that need to prove to myself that today's been worth doing. We have such little days in our lives. I'm making this commentary now. This commentary will probably be about 10 minutes long. I don't know, maybe a bit more or less. But I feel like this 10 minutes was worth giving up, because I feel like these kind of talks with people like you are fundamentally so important. 10 minutes of my life was worth swapping for this, to me. Think of that. Was today, for you, worth living? And if it wasn't, why? Why would you spend your time, your very, very limited time on this planet, why would you spend it doing anything that you don't want to do, or that you're kind of just doing because, well, I just feel like I'm doing it? I really have that notion in my head now, and it came from a quote that I saw when I was young. This idea of time is so precious. It's just, and without that drive to not succeed even, just to keep on and enterprising and, you know, making connections, doing all these things that I need to do. Maybe this is just me, you know, maybe this is my condition. Maybe this is my war, to go back to a video I made a while back. I don't know. I feel at peace, like I said, when I'm working. And drive is a fundamental towards getting things done for me. And I feel that drive. It's like a buzz. It's like those cogs turning round inside you. Those cogs, and they kind of speed up and they make you feel kind of just like you're on top of the world. And I feel that when I'm in a drive mode. But maybe that's just me. I'd like to know, I'm not going to end the video here, but I'm going to pose a question, which is, do you have drive? Do you feel a real significant need to be doing things? Or are you perfectly happy just playing games all day? And I'm not saying one is better than the other. For me, I'd rather have and feel the drive, because that's just how I am. But, you know, I don't want this to at all be something that, or I'm lecturing you or anything like that, because that's really not what this is about. I really want to talk frankly and openly about these issues, because they are very, very important. So do you feel a drive? Do you feel like when you wake up in the morning, are you going to attack the day? Are you going to just fuck it? Are you just going to do as much as you can before you sleep? Because I'm not sure that people of our age and younger now give a shit about that. I see some of my friends sitting down and just doing nothing. And God, this really sounds like I have a problem, but I don't feel like I have a problem. And I know a lot of people who are like me as well, who have that kind of wolf instinct to just keep going. But I see my friends sit down and I just think, what are you doing? This is like, and some of my friends, you know, they used to smoke weed and they used to kind of drink and just spend time wasting. I don't drink, I don't smoke weed, I don't do drugs, nothing like that. Nothing at all. I haven't got time. Like, it would be lovely if I had the time to do a line of crack, but I don't have the time and I couldn't think of something to waste my money on more than that. It's just something that isn't necessary. Or is it? Because, you know, people in the States and in London, specifically a few banks in London, it's quite obvious when you go there that people are clearly doing crack, or just coke. You know, it's very, very obvious that people are zooming about and they have this kind of inherent ability to just talk even faster than I can talk, and I can talk really fast if I want to. They talk at like 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it's not natural. It's not human progression. It's just not. It looks alien to experience people acting like that. And it's very well documented that, you know, these places are full of coke, and, you know, there's coke available in the toilets, allegedly. Apparently, I don't know if that's actually true, but I've heard that many, many times from different people and from people who've worked there, so maybe that is true, actually. But, you know, some people have that drive. A lot of people who work in those kind of high demanding and high frequency jobs need that drive. And probably, I'm not going to say they need that coke, but they've got to survive somehow. They've got to survive. I'm not talking about as a human, because that's really not going to help you survive, but survive in their jobs. And if they're not as, if their output is limited compared to someone else's output, or if the way that they deal with things is not the way in which, you know, someone else can deal with it, who maybe is high or has the ability to talk at 1,000,000 miles an hour and get things done immediately and not be lazy and all those things, and maybe he isn't worthy of that job. That may be why, because it's so bloody competitive. But I'm not sure in our world, or in my world now, that that's really a thing. But I still have this buzz, this drive that keeps me going, and it affects everything I do. It really does affect everything I do, because I want everything I do, I want to be proud of everything I do. And, you know, that's why I came back to play the game. I came back to play the game because I had free time. I was working on so many albums and projects with that drive that it's nice just to have a little bit of a break from that, and YouTube is like a little hobby. So I've come back. I'll stay here for a bit, obviously, and then I want to crack on with a few other things in a few months. So I'll go away again. But it's nice to kind of come back with a kind of different set of agendas and things like that. And I came back to play the game with a drive, with a kind of... I came in like... It's like a rocket coming back from space in re-entry, where there's that kind of... that layer of kind of that... what do they call it? The environment. The ozone. It's not the ozone layer, it's that... kind of blast when they re-enter our atmosphere. It's that kind of bang, and I wanted to come back with a bang, change up a lot of things, because remember, for the longest time I was a subscriber of Play the Game. For like 3 months now I've been a subscriber, watching what's happening, watching every video and seeing how things are, and also seeing your reactions to those videos and noticing that that drive isn't there with Play the Game. There isn't that need to continue and to evolve, and I see other channels evolve. They're covering different things. Their actual channel themselves are changing, and they're changing as people, because of course these people are growing up as well, or they're just getting older if they're already old like me, fucking old as balls. But yeah, I had that need to come back because I saw that, you know, things maybe weren't going, you know, in the correct agenda or direction that Play the Game originally had. So I came back with a blast, with a bang, to make sure that things got done, because I wasn't sure that if there was another way of doing it, and I'm not even sure there is another way of doing it. So I'm here now to effect change and to add a sense of drive and determination to Play the Game. And it's going to snuff some noses, you know, it's not going to be an easy progress, but what I'm doing now is absolutely the best thing for Play the Game, and what I do with all my companies or projects or hobbies, whatever, is always the best for them. You know, I always take time, care to make sure that my plans are perfect, and that the drive that is going to be installed in those things is perfect, in terms, you know, in my opinion, perfect. But, you know, my opinion with YouTube is a very valid one. I work with YouTube as well now. That's a big difference, is that I work with YouTube. So I have a very kind of behind the scenes logic as well. So I know how things work. I know the kind of agendas, and I know the remit of which we can kind of adopt Play the Game to make us work as a channel and to grow. Because if you're not enterprising, and if you're not wanting to get bigger, why the fuck are you doing this? Anyway, so the question for the comments section is, do you feel that drive? Do you feel that agenda? Is that agenda necessary to you? Does it revolve in your life? Do you feel those cogs inside? Do you know what I mean? Do you ever feel flush with kind of adrenaline when you're working on something, and you know that what you're doing has scope and that it's good and all these things? Is that something that you're interested in, or are you just not interested in that? Is that not the way of the modern person, or is this just me being a kind of semi-cyborg? I don't know what's wrong with me. It feels like I'm talking like an alien a lot of the time. Not in this situation, but it feels like when I talk about this in real life, I sound a little bit like an alien, because a lot of people don't have that determination that I have to do things and to effect real change. But are you interested in this? Is that something that you can comprehend? And if you do feel it, what do you feel? How does it affect the way you work? And what are you working on as well to make you feel that way? Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, it means a lot to me that we can have these little discussions, and obviously your comments are a massive part of this. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, whether you really liked the concept of the video or not, if you just enjoy the discussion, or even if you really don't agree with me, yeah, the like just means that it gets shared and you can share your disagreement with people. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.